dimensions are weakening considerably. How bad is it?
Well, that happened. So yeah, a new Ratchet and Clank game is going to be made for the PS5, and I'm a little shocked. I thought it was going to be a brand new Sly Cooper game that was going to be announced at the PS5 event. But no, it looks like the series is still in the same place where all the forgotten PS2 platformers are.
Know your fucking place, trash!
Hey, I just call it as I see it. Anyway, back to something that Sony doesn't think that is trash, Ratchet and Clank. In fact, when you look back at the PS2 trilogy and Ratchet Deadlock, there was a consistency to the games that for the most part, most other PS2 platformers didn't have, and their games suffered because of it. But not Ratchet and Clank, as when Insomniac Games is at the helm, you're going to get a fun gaming experience. But that was from the PS2 era. But what about the PS3 era of Ratchet and Clank? Will Insomniac Games continue with this consistency, or does it fall off a bit? And with that being said, let us take a look at not one but two Ratchet and Clank games. We're going to first take a look at Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction, and then we'll take a look at the sequel to it / prequel to the next game / epilogue. I don't know what you want to call it, but screw it, the next game, Quest for Booty. That's right, it's a twofer, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to take a look at both of these games right now. Cue the theme song. When I was researching this game and seeing how the nuts and bolts were figured out and put in the right way, I found out the creative director of it was Brian Algier. In fact, he's been with the series since the beginning. And he's also worked on other Insomniac titles, including the last two Spyro PS1 games as a designer, and he was creative director of Resistance Fall of Man, a series I haven't yet played. And he was co-creative director of Fuse, and yeah, well, no one bats 1,000. Anyway, let's get into the game he worked on, and right off the bat, I have to say the graphics of this game are great. The jump to next gen really made this game series do well, pretty much a Pixar movie. Yes, I know that was a blur from a New York Times article reviewing the game, but hey, they're not wrong. In fact, I think the graphics make this game. In fact, makes the game series because it makes the world of Ratchet and Clank much more lively and enticing for people to jump into their world with no issues whatsoever. Another great thing about this game is the controls. You play any mainline Ratchet and Clank games, you know what to expect. And as for newcomers, the controls are very easy to get into if you experience playing third-person shooters or not. Other positives are the weapons you have at your disposal. My favorites are the Buzz Blades, Alpha Disruptor, Predator Launcher, Shock Ravager, and the Negotiator. And how you upgrade your weapons in this game is quite different than the previous ones. Of course, you have to standard use the weapon for a long period of time and bam, upgrade. And then there's another way you can upgrade your weapon. You can upgrade them via weapon shop if you have enough rare Titanium, for upgrades like more ammo, longer range, faster shooting, and etc. Also, for the first time in the series, you have devices that help you distract, hurt, or take health away from your enemies, like Mr. Zircon, who are like the Centaurs and Gore Commander, but only one is used at a time, and they have a bit more personality.
Mr. Zircon may death or stinky aliens. We shall let you live, little alien. Psych! Mr. Zircon lives only to kill.
Then there's the leech bombs to take away enemies' health away and give it to you. And my personal favorite is the Groovatron that when it's used makes enemies dance so they're free to shoot at. And it works on bosses, so that's always a good thing. What's not a good thing are the 6-axis controls, because this game was made in 2007 and the PS3 wanted to be like the Wii so badly and failed miserably for it. Anyway, the only 6-axis controller I like is the use of free falling. That's it. Everything else, when directing the tornado gun, flying around with Clank, and doing some door opening puzzles are the height of frustration. Yes, I know you can turn off the 6-axis controls, but the game is designed to use the 6-axis, so here we are. Also, there is no multiplayer in this game, or any of the future mainline Ratchet and Clank games, to make the single player more engaging. And you know what? I like that. Too many times I've seen many a game studio try to play both sides of the coin, and while some do it well, most of the time they make single player a forgettable / tutorial to multiplayer, or the multiplayer is just something slapped on to make the game lifespan go a little bit longer, and at the end of the day hurts the single player campaign. But what about the story of the game? Well, it goes into Ratchet's backstory of him being the last Lombax in the entire galaxy. Wait, what's that? Angela Cross? Oh, you think that Insomniac was going to do something with her and probably make her part of the storyline and such? Well, anyway, let's get back to this whole why Ratchet is now the last of the Lombax in the entire galaxy. The reason why is because of the new villain on the loose, Emperor Percival Tachyon, a cragmate who was raised by the Lombax. We'll find out his true origin, his true past. As the cragmates and the Lombax had a great war, and the Crags, well, took the L and was banished to a distant star. Tachyon didn't take that news well, as he rose an army that took out most of the Lombaxes, all but 2. As one was the Guardian and another was his son, who was Ratchet.
Dramatic reverb.
But that's Ratchet's story. What about Clank? Well, my dudes, he's not just here for the ride. He also has a little story on his own, one that will play out not only just in this game, but also in a crack in time. He is visited throughout the game by the Zoni, an alien race that gave Clank upgrades and visions of the future. The only problem is that only he can see him. Yeah. It's funny how Ratchet doubts him, even though after all the adventures that both of them have, it takes a long period of time to say, oh, wait, maybe Clank sees something. Seriously, after everything that Ratchet, you went through with your little friend here, you won't take a leap on faith until later on to the game? Anyway, Ratchet and Clank also meet up with Talon Apology, an explorer voiced by Tara Strong, who helps both of them find out where the hidden Lombat tech is to help you out throughout the game. But Emperor Tachyon has other ideas, as he plans to use this hidden Lombat tech and rebuild the Dimensionator so he can bring the Crabmags back from their banishment so they can rule the galaxy. Fortunately, Ratchet and Clank do their thing and take out Tachyon. But remember the Zoni? Well, the Zoni come back, and not only everybody can see them, but also they steal Clank, Ratchet's homeboy. What happened? Why did the Zoni take him? Well, we're going to find out, right now in the sequel or prequel to the next game, I don't know, the DLC adventure Ratchet and Clank Quest for Booty, in which Ratchet and Talon start the search for where Clank has gone. The game is short, around 4 hours long, but it's a short DLC adventure that doesn't do much to shake up the foundation that Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction laid out, other than Clank being a no-show. It's still a fun game with good platforming and some fun weapons, and the villains you face are the robot pirates you fought in Tools of Destruction. Oh, by the way, you fight robot pirates in Tools of Destruction. It's pretty fun, and it's nice, short, and honestly, I think the aesthetic of using the pirate themes and everything else help out the experience. But at the end of the day, Ratchet and friends finally figure out what happened to Clank after the events of Tools of Destruction, as he's being held captive by the villain, the best villain of the franchise, Doc. So, that was Ratchet and Clank, Tools of Destruction, and Quest for Booty. My final thoughts? Now, my friends, this is what you call a true upgrade from the PS2 era to the PS3 one. I've seen many game franchises struggle to make that next leap from one generation of consoles to another, but with this game franchise, Insomniac made a very solid transition from the PS2 to the PS3 era. And yes, it has issues, mostly the 6-axis control, but on the whole, these two games are great action platformers, and the people at Insomniac Games should take a bow as they continue to build on what was a very solid foundation of gameplay that started on the PS2 back in 2000. As I give both Tools of Destruction and Quest for Booty a 9 out of 10. Great stuff. Just turn off the 6-axis controls, as it will make gameplay even more fun. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, Ratchet & Clank still gets a high recommendation from me, Duke CT. Anyway, that is it for this episode of Last Reviewer Standing. Thanks so much for watching. It's Duke CT here. Peace, love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.